Hi everyone, this is what is a thesis statement and how to write one. Now, sometimes this can be very challenging for young writers, but it doesn't have to be. So if you just follow these few steps, we can make it easy and flawless. So first, what is a thesis? The thesis tells the reader what your paper's about. The thesis focuses your ideas into one sentence. It presents the topic of your paper and or your position. It helps guide your writing. And number 5, this is very important. The thesis is always the last sentence of the first paragraph. If it is not there, you cannot make a passing grade. You might get a 2 if you're lucky, but if you want a 3 or a 4, which is really what you want, the thesis is the last sentence of the first paragraph. So you may be asking, how do you write one? Well, it's very easy. You've picked your topic, you've done your brainstorming. Now, your topic, ask a question, make it a question, and then turn that question into a declaration or a statement. You're going to look at 3 of the reasons that you have brainstormed about how you're going to prove what you're going to say. You're going to list those reasons. Then you're going to combine your statement, declaration statement, and those reasons, and you're going to have your thesis. So I'll show you how to do that. So let's put everything together. First, you ask your question. So let's say I'm writing a paper about how anger affects people. So I would say, does anger affect people's lives? That's my question. Next, I have create a declaration. This is just a statement, right? So my declaration is anger affects people's lives in a negative way. That's my statement. Next, I have my reasons why. So remember, these are the things that I actually did to find. In fact, let's make that a different color, that I brainstormed about. So you want to keep those in mind. What are the 3 reasons, 3 subtopics that you brainstormed and you want to use in your paper? Well, let's say I brainstormed that it can cause setbacks in careers. Then maybe my second one is it can cause setbacks in relationship. And my third one is how it can affect yourself. Now I'm going to combine my statement and my reasons together to make my sentence. And I may have to play with the wording. So notice in my declaration, it says anger affects people's lives in a negative way. Well, I really wanted to change that to make it flow smoother. So what I changed it to is anger affects people's lives negatively. So see how I changed that? I made it's going to flow smoother with the rest of it by causing setbacks in their careers, oh, I'm very sorry. I messed that one up, didn't I? Remember, I don't have to repeat setbacks in relationships. I can say comma, relationships, and can ultimately affect their self-worth. I have my thesis now. Anger affects people's lives negatively by causing setbacks in their career, relationships, and can ultimately affect their self-worth. So let's move on. We have our thesis. Now let's break it down because it's important. It's going to actually help you with your writing and help you take you where you need to go, and also help the reader see where they're going to go. So we're going to break it down. Take our thesis statement. Anger affects people's lives negatively by causing setbacks in their careers, relationships, and can ultimately affect their self-worth. We know that the reader will read a paper over how anger affects people negatively, right? So we know the first body paragraph in our paper is this first item, setbacks in their careers, right? It's going to be that. We have it here. We know the first body paragraph will be about how anger causes problems in jobs or people's careers. That's our first body paragraph. It's mentioned first in the sentence, it's going to be written in that first body paragraph. So the second thing in the sentence is the relationships, right? Setbacks in relationships. That's the second body paragraph. Anger causes problems in relationships. And what do we have next? The third body paragraph can ultimately affect their self-worth. Third body paragraph, anger causes people to think poorly about themselves. That's what that means. We've just put it in a little bit more elevated way. Now, many of you say, why do I need 3 paragraphs? When I wrote it in the on the 27-line page, I didn't need 3 paragraphs, I only needed 4. Well, the problem is because you're typing, you will be able to fit in 5 paragraphs. You need to have 5 paragraphs. So you need those 3 body paragraphs, your introduction, your 3 body paragraphs, and your conclusion. And we'll talk about that later with the others. So what's next? So the thesis. Is the thesis I am showing how to write formulaic? Yes, it is. Are there better thesis statements out in the world? Yes, probably so. But here's the deal. This formula of thesis will get you a 3 or a 4. It doesn't have to be some very difficult thing to do. It just needs to be correct and in the correct place of your paper. So don't worry about the simplicity of this. Just trust in the process and do what I'm telling you and you will succeed. That I promise. Remember, if you have any questions, you can ask me or Miss Evans and we will help you when we can. Bye.